Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Yesterday I didn't do a video because there's really no news happening as far as miners or Bitcoin itself. So I spent the time actually looking into the Bitcoin miner CEOs, what they actually have as far as share counts for all their respective companies. So we'll kind of look at that. We'll also take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin right now. And the miners kind of mixed day as far as the miners are concerned. Bitcoin and Ethereum are both up right now. So let's just get into it here and we'll call it a day. So, as always, this is not financial advice for entertainment only. Please do your own research. I'm investing in following coins and companies for full disclosure. And if you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe, helps me out tremendously. And let's take a look at what's going on here with the markets. So as we can see here, the general markets were actually down today. S&P was down 1.12%. Dow Jones was down 0.69%. NASDAQ was down 1.91%. Bitcoin, however, is still up about 1.47% of the day. It was up a little bit higher. And we can see here that it has been playing or toying with the 50-day moving average, which is our teal line right here. And then you can also see the yellow line is our 20-day moving average. It's been kind of bouncing off of that here on the 1 hour chart a little bit. But you can see here that we bounced off of it or got rejected by it, as you could say. But you can see here on the 4 hours, you can see it here. We came pretty close here to the 50, got rejected. We're also getting rejected by the 20-day moving average right now. So we'll see where this is going to end up at right now. On the RSI on the 4 hour, we can see that we're at 57. Last time we were back here at 57 as well. Price is just slightly higher on it than it is right now, so that might be a good sign here. We might be having a trend reversal from what I originally thought, that we might be going down a little bit, but right now it looks like we might be actually going up. And it's just one of those things where we've been trading sideways. There's really no direction as far as which way we want to go. If we look at the RSI on the 1 hour chart, we can see it's at 56. Last time we were back here on 56 was right around here. Price at that point was actually lower. So like I said, we're having a little bit of a reversal on this, and we'll see where it actually ends up going. But right now, we're just kind of getting rejected by the 20-day moving average as it is. So we'll see if we have the strength to get above it in the coming hours, days. And then we'll see if this trend reversal continues going forward, where we're going up in price right now. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Ethereum really quick as well. Ethereum is up 2.08% right now. It is up to, what is that up to? 1,855 as it is right now. And it is actually bouncing above the 20-day and 50-day moving averages right here. And you can see that a little bit better probably on the 4 hour chart. That now the 50-day is looking like kind of like support. It's actually bouncing off of it here. You can see it on the candle wicks. And you can see it also here on the 1 hour chart that we've been kind of bouncing off of it a little bit as well. So that might be a good sign as well. Okay, but we'll see what happens going forward. Now, as far as the miners are concerned, on today, it was kind of a mixed bag. Annie was down 1.86%. Argo was down also today. Let's get rid of these. Argo was down today 4.1%. Bit Digital was down 2.35%. Bitfarms was down 0.87%. Cypher was down 1.61%. CleanSpark was up actually at one point like 14% on the day. Then for whatever reason, it just pulled back down. And then finished the day at 1.81% being up. So that's kind of strange. I was looking to see if there's anything happening for them. No news out there, unless there may be some insider knowledge going on. Don't know. Cores was up today 7.68%. DigiHost was down 1.81%. DMG was up 1.98%. Green Edge was up 2.02%. Hive was down 2.85%. Hut 8 was flat on day at $1.93. Iris Energy was down 6.93%. Marathon was down 3.62%. Mawson was flat on the day. Riot was down 7.54%. Soluna was up 0.34%. Stronghold was up 0.16%. Wolf was actually down 2.45%. So, like I said, kind of a mixed day as far as the miners are concerned. Really no direction as far as which way they wanted to go. But it was a little strange with CleanSpark. CleanSpark was doing really well this morning, and then it kind of fell apart towards the end of the day, unfortunately. Let's take a look at now our cash rate really quick while we're at it. Let's refresh this. And now our cash rate has come down here to 358. This is on the 7-day average. And if we look at the 1-day average, see what's happening there. We can see that we're still kind of bouncing up and down here a little bit. We are at 354 million right now as it is. So we're kind of going sideways a little bit on the network hash rate along with price right now as it is. Okay. So let's just take a look at what the CEOs own of each company. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background on this so I can explain some of the things here. I pulled in, or tried to pull in information for all of these companies down here. We still, like always, we have the shares out, stock price, market cap. And then also included in here, percentage of shares held by all insiders. This is everybody that's on the inside of the company. And then we also just looked at the CEOs, presidents, how much they actually own. And then shares held by all insiders is over here. You guys can pause this, take a look at it if you want. The big one that's kind of off on it, for me at least, is I don't know if Cypher is 83.43% owned by insiders. That would be a lot. But But that's kind of the number that I got, and I'll show you guys where I got that number in a second here. So obviously that would be 207 million shares for Cypher. That's kind of strange to me. Another one would be TerraWolf, 53% also being owned by insiders. That's also a little strange for me. So if you guys have any better data on this, let me know. But here's where the data I got and where I got it from. So the first place I looked at was Yahoo Finance. If you go to a company's profile or summary page, you go to holders, you'll see the percentage held by all insiders, percentage of shares held by institutions, percentage of float held by institutions, and the number of institutions holding shares right now. You also have the insider roster. This is kind of cool that you get to see what everybody owns. And they provided Bradford Zachary with almost 2 million shares. I'll show you guys another site that I use as well. But you can see everybody what they own as far as shares are in that one. And then I also checked out the SEC website where you can actually get the Form 4, SEC Form 4, which is basically their statement of changes in beneficial ownership. So I pulled up, this is for actually Paul Prager from TerraWolf. This is where I have a question for you guys as well. Not sure how to report this because when I looked at Wolf let's just go to Wolf right now on Yahoo. This is where I was getting a little bit confused on it. Wolf holders, insider roster, and let's see here, Prager's Lisa. I don't have, what's his name? Paul Prager. I don't have Paul Prager in there anywhere on that part of it. Unless I got Lisa Prager here. I don't know if that's somebody related to him. But other than that, I don't have him here. And when I looked at the SEC Form 4 for Paul, I got this. So I got a bunch of indirect holdings here. Ownership form direct is D, or indirect is I. So indirect, does he own company shares indirectly through these companies here? So would that be a total of 475,000 plus the 4.7 million plus the 26 million plus the 8 million plus the 654,000 there? Would all those be added up for him to be owning the shares in TerraWolf? That's the question I have for you guys. I'm not sure how to account for this, okay? So this is kind of a hit and miss right now because I'm trying to figure all this stuff out, and hopefully you guys can help me out with this. This is the first time I'm actually looking into this part of the information that we do have for them. I also checked out some companies that didn't have any information, that really don't provide great information for SEC because they're being listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange. I checked out Cetera as well. And here, there's really nothing in here that would say that there is like they have the Form S or Form 4 in the SEC where it says Statement of Changes in Beneficial Ownership. We don't have that here in Cetera. I would have to probably go like through every single one of these documents trying to figure out where that information is actually located here. So that's kind of gone as well. That's not in the numbers that I have here for them. So you'll notice Iris, I don't have the information for. Hive also seems pretty low for me as well. That might be off. Bit Digital, Bitfarms, and TerraWolf are the ones that are kind of in question right now because I just don't have anything for their CEOs on that one. Okay, so when I did find information for one of the guys or one of the people here, I did put in a link here. Hut 8, I think, was also reported as on, I think that was on Yahoo Finance. I'm trying to remember where I got all this stuff from. So if we look at Hut 8 really quick on that one, we'll take a look. Holders, I think this is where we got it. Insider roster. Suenis, Leverton, yep, there we go. So that's where I got that information from. That was also pretty old. Exercise of rights. This was back on August 28th, 2022. Don't know if that number is correct, but this is the only number that I could find for them right now. Okay. So based on all of this information, now that you guys have a background as far as where I got the information from, some of the information I couldn't find, like I said, if you guys have a better place to find all that, let me know. I'd love to hear it. Here's what we have. So Cypher has their CEO, Rodney Tyler Page, has about 3.6 million shares. That's about 1.44% of the company's shares out right now. And that's valued at about 8.8 million. DMG is at 2.6 million shares for Sheldon Bennett. That's 1.56% of the company, and that's valued only at 523,000. Sphere 3D, Patricia Trumpeter has 280,000 shares. That's 0.36 of the company with 92,000 in value right now. Hut 8, Jamie Leverton has 461,000, 0.21% of the company, 890,000 in value. Moss and James Edward Manning has 283,000 shares at 1.75%. He's got 767,000. And then we got CleanSpark, Zach Bradford has 2.8 million shares. That's 2.54% of the company. And that's valued at approximately 12.9 million. And then Riot, Jason Less has 3.3 million shares. That's about 1.9% of the company and 37 million. So he's got the biggest stake right now as far as value-wise. And you got Marathon. Marathon, I was surprised here as well. Fred Thiel has only 239,000 shares of it. And it's only valued at 2.2 million. That was a little surprising for me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of all these numbers here. So obviously CleanSpark or Riot came in first. Then you got CleanSpark followed by Cypher and Marathon CEOs as far as how much value they have in the company locked up right now based on shares. Now, when it comes to which companies are buying shares or which, I would have to go through a lot of data on that one. And maybe if I have time, will do that in another video, maybe down the road, see who has been buying, but we can kind of see that as well, as far as if anybody has been buying or not. Actually, why don't we take a look at that right now? We might be able to take a look at it here. Don't want free stocks. Let's see here. Let's take a look at Annie. And I think we can see here on corporate actions, insider activity. We can see here last time somebody maybe bought or sold shares. So it looks like Patricia Trumpeter has sold 64,000 shares. This was just this month. And she also received shares, looks like 150,000 as well. We don't have any sales here. Yeah, so that's going back to further back. So it looks like Trumpeter has sold a little bit here. Argo, we got no data here as far as how much is being sold. This is going back to last year. Bit Digital, no activity. Bitfarms, no data. Cypher, do we have anything new here? 512, we got 5.4. Director, looks like they got 15,000 shares. Another director got 15,000 shares. Looks like all the directors got 15,000 shares. Tyler Page, looks like sold. Well, this was at the beginning of the year. 237,000 at 64 cents. Somebody else sold as well here. 95,000 shares at 64 cents. Kelly also sold here, but we got quite a few sales here at the beginning of the year, surprisingly. That could be that they just vested and they had to sell, I think, possibly. Don't know, but that's definitely a lot of people that were selling back then. And Cypher, CleanSpark, let's see here. Latest one we have is Matthew Schultz. Share price, we got nothing on that. All we got is the date of 3/10. Prior to that, it looks like their CFO, Gary, sold 14,000 for $2.38. This was back in April. No, not April, March. Yeah, January, February, March. March, he also bought shares, 19,000 shares at $1.78 back in December of last year. That's all we got so far for them. Core's not going to talk about them. They're in bankruptcy. DigiHost, we got back in March. Senior officer bought, it looks like $1.19, 17,000 shares. Somebody got some stock options, it looks like here in the beginning of the year. Well, yeah, quite a few people got stock options here in the beginning of the year. DMG, director of issuer, purchased 100,000 shares at 15 cents. This was back last December. No activity since then. Greenidge, I didn't want that. Greenidge, let's see here. Also from last year, somebody got 617,000 shares, 408,000 shares. This was back in October. Hive, wow, this is going back all the way to May of last year. Oh, no, this year. 510, who do we have here? Dave Peril sold 12,000 shares at $4.17. Looks like he sold another 12,500. Well, he's been just selling here constantly, it looks like, for the last couple of times. He's been selling like every week almost. The last 3 weeks at least, he has been selling. Let's see. Other than that, 414, we get a sale there as well. Frank Holmes, looks like sold 83,000 shares. Dave Perel sold. Senior officer of issuer got 50,000 shares there. This was back in March. Frank Holmes sold 83,000. Darcy, looks like purchased 37,000 shares potentially. Aiden also bought 10,000 shares at 388 in March, and then we're going back all the way to January. Frank also sold some 41,000 shares, and he got 41,670 So plus minus, those kind of cancel out each other. Okay, so that's Hive. Hot 8, what do we have here? Jamie Leverton got 15,000 shares in March. Sue got 9,000 shares in March as well. Prior to that, 10,000 shares added here, 12,000 added here. But nobody has been selling or buying in the market. Maybe this one. So Senior Officer of Issuer, Aaron Dobbs, 501 shares. Sue Ennis bought 484 shares. This was back in December of last year. Okay. Iris Energy, no data. Luxfolio, they really, I don't know what's going on with those guys. Marathon, Theo, Fred got 500,000 shares just now. It looks like in May. He bought some shares at $9.46 for 21,000 shares back in April. Chief Technology Officer also bought, looks like in March, 3,000, almost 4,000 shares. Other than that, doesn't look like, well, somebody sold here 5,000 shares. Oh, what else do we have here? Nothing really major here. Other than that, we got some people buying, looks like at 768, 768, 768. This was all on 116. I don't know if they got shares or if they bought shares. When I see price, I'm thinking that they bought shares. Okay, so that's Marathon. Mawson as well. Let's take a look at them here. What do we got? Nothing except for back in November of last year. Plus 35,000 director at 37 cents. Riot. Let's see. 417. Somebody sold 4,000 shares. Somebody sold 6,000 shares. Somebody sold 13. 13 also here. 218,000 to 26,000 shares. But this is going back to January here. And then we got quite a few in January. People, looks like we're selling at 422, looks like. But still not too much. Then we got Soluna. What do we got here? 414.23. So last month, she got 100,000 shares, or Patman got 100,000 shares. Patman got 100,000 shares. What else do we have here? 25,000 shares, 25,000 shares. Not much else. Stronghold, really quick here. Doesn't have anything, looks like. TerraWolf. Let's see, what do we got? 516, somebody sold 100,000 shares. Patrick also sold 250,000 shares. Kenneth got 100,000 shares. Lisa Prager got 20.9 thousand shares. 16,000 shares added here, 24,000, 16,000. So yeah, directors got, looks like shares there. Paul got 100,000 shares in April as well. And it doesn't look like we've had too much selling here. Somebody sold 1.19 million shares. Is that right? Yeah, somebody got 12 million shares, Paul. Wow, 12 million shares. So maybe it does make sense that he has over potentially a lot, that it's owned by 53% of the company. If he got 12 million shares here, somebody sold 12 million here, he got 12 there. So a lot of funky stuff. You got minus 12 million here, plus 12 million from there. So that seems, yeah, I don't know what's going on there on that one. Maybe you guys can explain it to me. But that's what we're looking at right now. It's just a lot of unknowns, unfortunately. So this is the numbers that we do have. You guys can take a look at it here, pause it, see what you guys think of it. Let me know what you guys think of it. I don't think it's that bad. I thought the numbers are looking pretty good for the most part. The percentage owned, like I said, CleanSpark owns the most as far as their CEO, 2.54% of the company. And then potentially, we don't know about TerraWolf with Paul Prager, how much he actually owns, because those are indirect. So hopefully I can get an explanation from one of you guys as far as what that means. Okay, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tried to go through this really quick, but it ended up going a little longer. But we'll see what happens later on this week. If we get any information from the miners or anything like that, we're still waiting on a bunch of miners to provide us with their financial results for Q1. When those come out, we'll do a video on everybody then at that point. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. As always, this is going to be available to my Patreon members. Thank you to everyone there. Thank you to all the YouTube members as well. You guys will get a picture of this as well, sent to the community post. They'll get there. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.